Oh, he's doing pretty well. You know, I'm going to check on him right now, but he's holding up pretty well. You know, he's going to fight back and be ready, you know, for the future.
Jalin, does it feel like there's more at stake now because of last week's win that you guys are certainly in the, you know, you move way up, and the Dolphins were saying we want to treat every week like we treated last week.
Right.
You sense that?
Yes, I do definitely sense that. You know, we've been, you know, kind of calling this the new normal, just to preparing like we did last week. I feel like, you know, last week we prepared extra hard just because it was a bigger game. And I feel like if we do that from weeks in and weeks out, I feel like we'll have a good success.
Jalin, do you enjoy the roles that, you know, you being able to kind of do a little bit of everything? Do you enjoy that challenge of switching around? I mean, you played quarterback in high school.
I mean, yeah, I definitely enjoy it. You know, it's fun for me just to be up different positions around the field. You know, I get a kick out of playing quarterback just because that's where I came from. And every time they say go in at quarterback, I just have, you know, I have the most fun. Take it to the most advantage I can. You know, being a punt returner, you know, a returner, you know, it's also a special feeling to me.
Jalin, do you think that having the ability to throw, to catch, to run, do you think that could be the future of football, is having skill guys who can kind of do all three things?
You know, hopefully, you know, it could be, because I mean, I definitely don't want to, you know, be deactivated, if that's a word from that role. This offense, you know, I enjoyed that. You know, I feel like it helps us out a little bit, and it's getting, you know, the role is expanding more and more each week, and I feel like, you know, it's great for me and it's great for the team.
Do you sneakily keep your arm warmed up just in case on the sidelines? I mean,
I try to, you know, swing it around a little bit. I don't try to give it away to the fans as much. You know, they yelling down, Jalin, throw one. I mean, I don't control that. So I just try to warm up a little bit with the quarterback at the beginning of the game, just in case I do got to go out there and throw a pass.
Jalin, any chance you guys are looking ahead to Indiana?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. You know, just like you said, we got to take it 1 week at a time. You know, and this is a big game. You know, it's another big game. Minnesota just, you know, cracked the top 25, and I feel like we have to prepare this week just as we prepared last week.
Does it make it harder, though? There's kind of an afterglow from the Michigan State game. People are still telling you how good you are, how great the game is. They still want to talk about last week's game. Is it difficult to move on to the next game when they're talking about the last one?
I don't think it's difficult, just because, you know, coaches, you know, they reiterated every day, you know, we got another game this week. You know, we celebrated the win, you know, after the game, and we moved on right after that, just because we have a lot at stake now, and we have to just move on every week.
You guys are number 8 in the latest college football playoff rankings and stuff. How does that sit with you? What do you think? What's y'all's challenge now?
I mean, we just have to maintain that ranking. You know, we have to go out there and handle our business. And I feel like if we do that, we'll just keep creeping up, and then start talking about the Buckeyes.
Do you feel like your experience at quarterback, and obviously them utilizing you in those different packages, do you feel like you read defenses a little better than some of the other skill position players?
But sometimes, you know, we are taught as receivers to read the defenses, just because you have to know when you're getting the ball and when you're not. So, I mean, it does, you know, help me out a little bit coming from the quarterback position. But it also, like I said, we do have to learn that as a receiver.
Jim, you seem to be on
been throwing out the word trap game for this. You know, it's a noon game, the weather, Minnesota's win last week, your win last week. Has that been thrown around to be on high caution that there can be no letdown?
I mean, like I said, coaches, you know, they tell us every day we have to prepare like we did last week for this game. So I feel like if we do that, you know, it can't be no trap games. If we go out there and handle our business, we can come out with a win.
Jalin, y'all seem to be on a real roll, though, offensively last week against a good defense and stuff. Do you think that can now continue? Will it?
Yeah, like I said, I think it all has to do with preparation, you know, focus. If we stay focused in preparation, we can execute at a high level.
Is it there? Has that focus been there this week? What have you sensed?
Yeah, I feel like it, just because, you know, the playoff ranking did come out, and we have to stay focused, because we want that prize at the end of the season.
Jalin, are you going to be back on kick return?
I'm not sure yet. You know, it's me, you know, and a couple of other guys have been, you know, rotating in and out. But I feel like if they call my number, I can get the job done.
You and
a couple other guys, like Curtis Samuel and who else?
Last question, Curtis Samuel, Devin Smith, just guys like that. They can make big plays.
When you took over the punt return duties, you have, it seems like, the ability to make the big play. You had a couple iffy moments back there too. Just what's the process of, like, when you're a punt returner, making the right decision, you know, making sure you're giving yourself a chance to make a play, not being too risky? How have you going through all that?
It's just being smart, you know, being back there, being smart. You never want to make a play that cost the team a turnover like last week. You know, it was a big mistake on my behalf. And so that's just me trying to make a mistake, make a big play. But I have to learn, you know, being a young returner, just win to try to make the big play, and win to make the safe play by calling fair catch.
What should you have done on that play?
I should have just called the poison call and made everybody get out the way. But I tried to step up in there and return the punt, and it caused a turnover. That's on me. That's on me.
Thanks, Jalin.
I just have one question about JT. Thank you.
With as many roles as you do, does everyone want you in their team meeting?
No, I stay pretty much in the wide receiver room. He just, he tells me what they want me to do that week in and week out. And Coach Smith does a pretty good job by, teaching me and helping me throughout the process.
JT, one other quickie. JT,
Last question.
Did JT cross a barrier last week, do you think, leading this? I mean, he was almost flawless throwing the ball from an accuracy standpoint. I don't know, what did he prove to you specifically, your former quarterback, part-time quarterback now, but what did he prove, I guess, to the team and everybody else?
I feel like, JT, that's what JT is capable of week in and week out. I felt like, we were there to make big plays for him, and he felt comfortable in the receivers. And so he put everything where it needed to be. We rely on JT, to push this offense. I think he's doing a great job.
So that's an example of like the whole machine sort of like starting to hit on the same.
I feel like he's the captain of the machine, and he gets us going every week. And as we listen to him, he leads us to success.
How accurate is he?
He's a very accurate quarterback, and he works on that day in and day out. And I feel like it's coming into its own.
Jalin, thank you very much.
Jalin.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jalin.